Are you afraid of national service? Today, I'll be answering some of the concerns that you might have regarding serving the army. Hello everyone, welcome to the NASTI Dynasti, where we all learn about life-changing habits, skill sets, and mindsets to help us all become more nasty. So somehow my previous national service video actually had quite a lot of views, and there were many comments regarding all the concerns that you guys have about national service. So I guess the reason why I actually made this video is to actually address some of the concerns that you guys might have with regards to national service, and to also provide you with some sort of like reassurance before you enter the army. To be honest, I also had quite similar worries, so it's completely fine for you to be worried before you enter the army. So before entering national service, I was actually studying for my A-level, so I didn't really make time for exercising and to improve my overall fitness. So similar to all of you, I was actually quite worried about whether my current fitness level is able to help me to survive NS. I heard about my uncle and my father and everybody else talking about how difficult the training regime is at NS, and wow, trust me, I was so worried. So when I actually entered national service, right, I was actually quite surprised about how progressive the progressive training actually was. For example, instead of doing like a fixed number of reps and sets for each exercise, you actually do like circuits, where you basically have a certain number of time that you spend at each station to do as many reps as you can. The number of reps that you do will depend on your own overall fitness, not predetermined by the number of reps that somebody else set. And also, when you do your running, right, you're basically split into different categories depending on your 2.4 timing. What this means is that they're actually controlling your pace such that you're still pushing yourself, but you're not running to the point where you really want to tow. So basically, everybody will be training at your own comfortable intensity such that you will be able to still push yourself depending on your own individual fitness levels and improve at your own pace. So honestly, there really isn't a reason for you to be extremely fit before you enter national service, unless of course you want to get like a goal for your IPPT during your BMT or something. So in addition to fitness, right, I was also quite concerned about the military regime. Basically, I don't really want to kena tekan or kena punish or anything like that for no freaking reason at all. You know how they always say that when you enter national service, you'll be treated like dog shit and all your superiors will like screw you over for no reason at all? Well, actually that's not really true. Because of past few incidents, right, the army is actually being extra safe, so they are actually quite careful about the different punishments that they give to you. And also, your sergeants in BMT are basically all NSFs. So we're all in the same page here. We just want to faster ORD and zao. Nobody will want to go and shout at you at 5 AM in the morning when they themselves haven't even woken up properly. So if they don't really need to scold you, right, they probably wouldn't. So when you actually get punished, it's usually because you did something wrong. But I guess what you did wrong is subjective lah, depending on like your sergeants and stuff. So it really depends on their mood as well. But I would say that most of the time, you actually get punished because you did something wrong. But let's say if every single person works together to go and meet their timings properly, ensure that everything is done smoothly, ensure that all the instructions are actually followed properly, the sergeants don't really have anything that they can scold you about. So basically, you don't get knocked down, your sergeants don't need to waste their energy to go and scold the shit out of you. So just don't worry about getting tekan. As long as you work together as a section or as a platoon to ensure that everybody meets the requirements, basically nothing will happen. So for my next concern, I was actually very worried about being seen as weak. Not in a sense where I am physically weak, but more of being mentally weak. You know how there's always this common stigma of how when you fall off on your training or when you go and report sick, you're basically a chowking or you're basically just I guess I myself, I didn't want to be seen as a chowking or weak. So that's why I was actually quite conscious whenever I fell out of training or if I go and report sick at the medical center. But I guess after going through like all the different procedures and everything, I realized that nobody actually cares about you. It's pretty obvious when somebody wants to be a chowking versus when somebody is actually sick for a certain reason. As long as you're not absent for activity where everybody needs to be present, if not like somebody needs to go and do your job, then I don't think anybody will really fault you for it. Yeah, so if you actually have a medical condition or if you're not feeling well, please make sure to let your superiors know. Contrary to how they look, they actually care a lot about your welfare, so they won't really judge you based on just your medical conditions. And also make sure that you push yourself, but not to the point where you sustain long-term injuries from just 2 years in service. So the next concern that I actually had was that I was quite afraid about eating dog food for the entire 2 years of my service. Don't act like you guys never think about it before. Your uncle, your father confirm will tell you before that the NS food sucks. But I guess that's from their generation. I am here from the current generation of the whole miaping to tell you that it depends. The food quality actually differs from camp to camp. I also don't know how it works, okay? But basically, different camps have different quality kind of food. Some camps are well known to have like terrible food. For example, Nisun camp. But personally, I think I've tried some of the food that are not so good, and honestly, they are still edible lah. Like obviously you won't be able to compare it to like Cai Fan standard, but it's definitely still edible. Like for me, I won't even like waste food because the food is not so inedible such that I have to waste it. And also sometimes if you guys are lucky, right, you are able to go over to the canteen to go and buy the non-cooked house food. So you all can actually have like a better meal lah if you all don't really like the cooked house food. So for my Tekong boys out there, I would say that the food at Tekong is actually one of the better ones. If you all disagree with me, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. But I personally feel that Tekong food is actually not too bad. So don't worry about the food, everything is gonna be fine. Just go in there and bulk while you can. If not, later you all go infantry, then you have to eat combat ration every day or something. For the last concern I had before entering National Service, it was actually regarding my vocation after BMT. I obviously don't want to be in infantry, I don't want to be a guardsman, I don't want to be in artillery, but how am I gonna siam that shit? Well, the answer is you basically can't. There are actually some rumors about how your vocation is actually predetermined based on your different preferences that you go and put during your CMPB test. But I guess if you guys are watching this video right now, your fate is probably already sealed. Yeah, so that's all for vocation. You basically cannot siam anything. But I guess another concern was whether or not it was actually easy to get into OCS or SCS. If you guys want to know more about the details of like what they look out for to enter OCS or SCS, you can let me know in the comments below. But I can just say that in order to enter OCS and SCS, right, it is not very difficult if you are in the Enhanced Leadership batch. For the rest, right, like PTP, BP, mono intake, it will be a bit more difficult because that's just how the system is. So if you want to get into command school, it's definitely possible, but make sure that you actually put in the effort. But don't try so hard until the whole universe hates you. But I guess if you somehow get into the worst vocation ever, there isn't any choice but to just suck thumb and just carry on with it lah, because there isn't really much that you can do about it. But I guess something that you can try your best to do is to not get a lifetime injury during your 2 years in national service, because it's definitely not worth it. With that, I finished covering the concerns that I personally had before I entered national service that you guys might be able to relate to. Do let me know in the comments below whether or not this video has actually helped you and whether you would like these kind of videos in the future. With that, I hope that you guys have learned a thing or two about national service and feel a bit more relieved after I addressed some of the concerns. If not, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Always remember, stay nasty.